What up, everybody? What's going on? Let me move this a little bit. Just move it. I don't like having the microphone in the shot. But what's up, everybody? Welcome to Own the Chaos. My name is Brad. Stock market is crazy and chaotic. And man, it's good to see some even more friendly faces. Tiago, I see you, man. Yeah, I've been back for a little bit. Appreciate you popping back in. It's been awesome to, see everybody kind of trickle back as I continue kind of reinvigorating Own the Chaos. It's been awesome so far to get, the waves of support that I have been getting. So I really appreciate that. Shout out Shareems for being the first one to pop in. Savvy Money Show. I see you, Tracy. What's up, Lord Fenrir? Duke and Kevin Hawthorne, of course. You guys are awesome. Listen, we got a big day for earnings, Meta Platforms, IBM, a couple other ones that are going to be reporting that, may or may not be on your radar. There's ServiceNow, Baker Hughes, Mattel, QuantumScape. Does anybody even trade QuantumScape anymore? I don't know. We'll see. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments on that one. Remember how crazy people went over QuantumScape? We also have O'Reilly Auto Parts. Maybe people care about that. FlowServe as well. Looking at the overall markets, it's been another down day. The S&P is down about 1.35%. We take a look at the overall markets themselves. It's kind of red across the board. The Dow is down 70 points. NASDAQ's down 306. The Russell is also down by 1.3%. Crude oil is back up to 85.35 a barrel. And we're checking out the bonds. Another surge today. Now, just because I said that I think that we see a peak doesn't mean that it's going straight down, right? I think that we still saw the peak in yields, and I think they're going to continue to move down at a steady pace. It's not going to be a straight line, just like anything else, right? It didn't go up in a straight line, and I don't think it's going to come down in a straight line either, but I still do think that it's peaked. And so we're going to get into some more of that. I'm sure we'll probably hear from Meta as well on interest rates and how it's impacting them too. What's up, Mike Hudson? I see you, my man. Good to see you, bro. We got a chat as well. Hit me up. What a sell-off today, says Thiago. Yeah, for sure. What's up, Saul? Good to see you. Now I know what Mike Tyson's opponents felt like. I guess you're getting hit with the market today. Getting beat up. Is that what's happening? All right, so let's take a look at Meta and get some. Actually, you know what? Before we get into Meta, I'll just show you guys the overall markets, and you guys can kind of see for yourself what's going on here. And we'll take a look at a few of these zones. I think that there is a potential bottom that we're seeing in the overall market, and I'll share my screen with you guys right now. Take us over to Trading View and take a look at some of Don's zones here as well. This could be a trading opportunity, and it may. We'll see. This is the 1 hour chart on the S&P. So I think, I don't know. We'll have to see where this goes, but it looks as if we're potentially getting to some sort of bottom. Go back to the daily chart here. You can kind of see we're almost there. Almost there. So I think that, like I said, today was a bit of a down day, and we saw a move up in the treasury yields. I don't think that we're going to see that peak out. Again, I don't think I think we already saw the peak, I should say. So taking a look at the NASDAQ as well. Also coming up on a zone. As you can see, coming down on a zone, I should say, down to around 14 and some change, 14,300. And then let's see. Going back to the S&P. So there you go. I think we're getting pretty close to a potential bounce in the S&P. Let me know what you guys think about that. Greetings from Australia, says Saul. Oh, yeah, welcome. I also put in the chat a poll. Did I miss the poll? Did the poll not go out? Could have sworn the poll went up. Damn. It must have not have saved. Either way, I was wondering, maybe you guys can just put it in the comments. Let me know what you think about Meta today as we get into it. So Meta Platforms, as I'd mentioned, is going to be reporting after hours. Looks like Don here already kind of took a trade on it last week. This is going to be something to watch for sure. If you guys didn't catch it, estimated earnings per share on Meta Platforms, I put it out in an email this afternoon, $3.65, $33.45 billion in revenue, 24 upgrades to a 1 downgrade from the street. That's according to this right here. This is Seeking Alpha. If you guys haven't checked it out, you want to continue to help support the channel, get all the information that you really need over here at Seeking Alpha. They're a partner of mine as well. So click the link in the description if you guys want to go check it out. You can get a pretty good discount over there with Seeking Alpha. Would appreciate it. Help support the channel as well. As you can see, last time around, they came in and beat earnings expectations pretty handily, and then also beat revenue by a ton. And then if we go back here on the summary of Meta Platforms, this is what's great about Seeking Alpha. It really does have everything you need. Year to date, it's up 140%. I do think that there's still room for this to grow. As you can see here, the PE on this is at 23 times next year's earnings, and it is expensive when you compare it to the S&P 500. However, it's cheap compared to all the other big tech stocks that are out there, and that includes Alphabet. Alphabet, I think, was around 24 times next year's earnings. Don't get me started on Microsoft and Apple because they're in upwards of 30. You look at NVIDIA, obviously that thing has gone bananas. We look at the growth at Meta, and it's still pretty good. Revenue growth forward is expected to be around 8 and some change as far as percentage concerned. EBITDA year over year, loss of 6. It's actually down 6. So that'll be something to watch out for in these earnings as well. EBITDA growth forward is expected to be at 8.5. So if they can come in line with that, I think investors would be happy with it. So continue to keep an eye on that. Let's go back to the chart here and take a look at Meta. We'll come out onto the 5-minute chart and kind of see where the trading opportunities are. So you have the expectations as I just laid them out for you. And I think we get the trading opportunities here, we get a bad reaction to these earnings. A couple areas to watch for potential entries would be around 293.81. The other one would be around 288. If we get poor reactions off of those earnings, this is, basing this off of Don's zones here. We take a look at the daily chart. You can kind of see where that plays out. Then we have another opportunity if it goes to the upside. We go the other direction here. We have a blue zone here sitting at 308, and then Don has this other one highlighted in yellow at 322. So keep an eye on those areas of resistance. If we break up over that 309 area, I think we probably could see some more movement. It's really selling off here towards the end of the day. Go back to the 5-minute charts, now down around 4.25%. This kind of reacting to everything else that's been going around in tech. Obviously, Alphabet didn't have a great earnings or great reaction to earnings. We'll take a look at this one. Yesterday, it did not, and a lot of it was kind of surrounded around the cloud space. But it's been kind of settling around here in this zone here on 125. And I said yesterday that everything else, as far as numbers are concerned, were good on Alphabet. So this looks like a buying opportunity for me on Alphabet. I think it's a good buying opportunity, whether you're looking to go short-term, long-term, it doesn't matter. I think this is a pretty strong overreaction. So obviously manage your own risk. Make sure you have those key risk stop losses, that sort of thing in place. But this looks like a really strong opportunity for Alphabet. That's GOOGL. Checking back in with Snap, that was yesterday. We reacted to that one too. That one also fell after it being up around 20%, now down 5.25 today going into the close. Kind of crazy, the reactions that we've seen. I also think this is a good opportunity for Snap. Everything was great for them. Daily active users was up. We saw subscriptions to Snap Plus was also up. There wasn't much on Snap that I would say that was bad. Those earnings were also good. They smashed expectations. They were expected a loss of 5 cents. They came in at 2. So both of these have really good opportunities based off of our reactions from yesterday. Getting back to Meta, let's take a look and see where that's at as we get closer to the close. It's down four and some change. This also looks like if I'm looking to take a trade, and we all know that trading earnings is a scary move, but I think that we see some pretty strong numbers from Facebook. The shift towards online advertising isn't slowing down anytime soon. And we know the free cash flow that Facebook has. We've talked about it many times before on this channel. Their 18% market share in digital ad revenue and digital ad industry is expected a CAGR of 7.5% until 2027. I think that we're going to see Meta capitalize on that. We've seen them kind of redirect focus in the ad space. And so this to me, I think, is a good opportunity. Look, if you're not feeling like it's worth the risk, of course, don't take it. But I have a good feeling that this is actually going to do pretty well. Oops, sorry. There we go. There's the chart. My bad, guys. You guys can yell as much as you want in the chat. If I'm not looking at the chat, I won't be able to see it here. I got to do a better job at this. Here we go. There's the chart. Thanks. Don knows where I'm coming from. He's been there before. My bad, guys. We'll take everything I said and apply it to this chart right here. Thiago says Meta will miss earnings. Snooker says selling my 4 remaining shares of Meta. See? Don's right again. All right. Next one I wanted to cover was IBM. They also have earnings today. God, I'll get my act together, guys. Still shaking the rust off. This is your 5-minute chart on IBM. Kind of falling right in this zone that Don has drawn out here. Let's take a look at the daily on IBM. This was, back in the day, if you guys are newer to trading, you might not have thought about IBM as something that really is relevant anymore. And maybe in certain ways it is, but looking at this was one of the largest, it was the largest tech stock in the late 90s before the dot-com bubble. Believe it or not, was the largest tech company in the world. Obviously, things change, whatever, but a little fun fact for you. But this is your daily chart on IBM. Expected earnings per share for this after the bell, and the market is officially closed, so we'll keep an eye on this. $2.13, $14.73 billion in revenue on IBM. The street has the forward PE on this is at 14 times. I think it's probably right in line. We'll see what they have to say, but AI should play a big part in what they're doing over there as far as IBM's concerned. We know about Watson and all of that, so they've been in the AI game for a while. We'll see what they have to say as far as that's concerned, but I think that if there's anything that's going to move the stock after hours, that probably ends up being the thing that does it. A move over 137 could indicate some more forward momentum above that resistance, so keep an eye on that. That could be a trading opportunity. You see a move over that, might be worth potentially taking an entry on there for IBM. So no movement on that just yet. Let's check in on Meta, see how that's doing after hours. It closed the day down 4%. Looks like this is just some aftermarket action. Michael Hanna says, I was surprised with IBM with cloud growth. Eldon Ruiz says, hit the like. Yeah. You guys could hit the like button. That would be great. Even after my mess earlier. It takes a little bit, to get back into the groove. Takes a little bit. That's for sure. A little bit more than I actually expected it to be, but we're getting there. We're going to get there. I mean, turnout's been great. Got 87 of you guys hanging in the chat. Yeah. There's the poll. I don't know why it wasn't pulling up earlier. So I put a poll out before the stream went live. 43% of you are looking to buy Meta after earnings. So very interesting. 25% of you are looking to sell, and then 30% are just already holders of Meta and don't plan on doing anything. I probably should have put another option on there that you weren't even paying attention to Meta, which, I mean, maybe you're just watching just to watch today if you're not interested in Meta at all. But which, hey, I appreciate that too. We'll continue to watch Meta. No real strong movement on that yet. ORLY also reporting. Let's just, for shits and giggles, see if that's moving. Not really. That's O'Reilly Auto Parts. Checking back in with IBM. See what we got there. Nothing. We'll just keep watching Meta here as that continues to roll. This motherfucker. Are you guys seeing this? If you draw my thumbnail, I'll go live with you tomorrow. Bro. You son of a bitch. Just show up. Just come on, man. You crack my ass up. If they're not in on Meta, we don't need their voter. That kind of negativity on this channel. That's Don. Listen, hey, Don and I have been huge bulls on Meta platforms since October of last year. And all it's done is gone 131% since then. I mean, we were banging the table on Meta platforms October last year, all the way into February. Everybody else hated on it, and we were hella bullish on Meta. Still feel good about it. I think that there's a lot to like, and as we wait these earnings, of course, it's going to paint a clearer picture here what happened this quarter and what they're expecting moving forward. But it's still cheap, as I'd mentioned earlier. It's still cheap compared to all the other major tech stocks that aren't growing nearly as much as Meta. Hit him with the year to date. Yes, that's right. Year to date, it's up 140.25%. Eldon Marie says, I hope Meta shits the bed. Okay, so I've seen a couple people actually say this. If Meta shits the bed, are you hoping that it does so you can get it at a cheaper price? Or are you just short on it and you want to short it to the ground? Like, I'm just curious. Like, are some of you looking to just get it at a cheaper price? Or are you actually trying to short this thing and that's why you hope it goes down? You bought yourself some puts, whatever. Just out of curiosity. Hit that thumbs up if you guys are enjoying the stream so far. It's Not Your Planet says, I'm just shorting the market in general. And it looks like we got some action here on Meta platforms now. And it is moving to the downside. If you're short Meta, I hope you don't operate heavy machinery, says Don. Okay, so it looks like those earnings may be out. Let me see if I can get those pulled up for you. If you guys ever wonder how I get my numbers so quickly, listen, Twitter, X, whatever the kids are calling it these days, that's where I go to get it. If you just hashtag search any stock when earnings break out, so in this case I'm cash tagging at Meta, I've found that that's the fastest way to get them. And I don't know, I guess whoever these accounts are that have this, and obviously you have to make sure that you validate the accounts that the numbers are coming from. So usually I try to make sure that there's consistent numbers between multiple accounts, so I'm not just going with the first one I find. But yeah, that's actually where I go, believe it or not. Meta still in the red here, but it's early. We've seen a pretty decent bounce here now from the initial sell-off. I don't have the numbers are still coming through. So still waiting on this. It's down around 1.85%. Doesn't look like it's sold off because the numbers are out. Because it doesn't appear that they are. This is what makes watching earnings so exciting, by the way. And look, this is also why it's so different watching it, and you guys know you'd much rather watch this than something like a CNBC, right? And find it for me. But I've never seen anybody who covers earnings quite like I do over here at Own the Chaos. So if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I cover earnings every day, Monday through Thursday. Fridays, it doesn't really make any sense. Friday afternoon, there isn't any earnings coverage, period. Nobody releases earnings. Nobody that anybody really cares about. Sometimes Friday mornings, like tomorrow, I think it'll be American Express. But yeah, Monday through Thursday is when I'll be live at 3:45 p.m. Eastern time, 15 minutes before the bell. And we react to earnings. And then I give my takes on them, give the trading opportunities. And we get real world reactions, not some stiff on CNBC just talking about all the dry bullshit that you can get anywhere else. Here, not so much. And I answer your questions as well. Can't do that with the major network, right? Bean Turd says we we watch because we're all degen gamblers. Don says I prefer professional gambler for sure. It's Not Your Planet says I just stumbled on this channel, so I was interested in my take, I guess. Only trade futures, haven't really looked into stock picking so much. I can appreciate that. Hey, nevertheless, I thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Still no movement on here. I still have no numbers. So it looks like maybe this is just some wonky after hours trading in anticipation of some sort of earnings numbers coming out. So looks like IBM might have some movement here. Let's check in with that as we await Meta's numbers. Here we go. Yeah. IBM just popped here. It's now up 2%. After being down around 0.5% on the day. So those look like perhaps numbers will be out on that. Just to give you an FYI, sometimes, as we just saw with Meta, sometimes you have like some major trade that takes place before earnings come out. Maybe somebody gets spooked. And I think that's what we kind of saw there. It's pretty typical that we see some movement without the numbers actually being released. Could be some, just some good old fashioned manipulation, but is what it is. Stream says we miss Fat Man Zoom. Yeah, we all do, my man. We all do. Me especially, right? But trying to do him proud. All right, so here's IBM's numbers. Revenue of 14.8 billion, up 4.6%. Up 3.5% at a constant currency. Earnings per share came in at $2.20. The expectation for earnings on IBM was $2.13. So they beat earnings there. Gross profit margin 54%, up 1.7 point. Operating non-GAAP 55%, up 1.6 points. Year-to-date net cash flow from operating activities. I just lost my spot. 9.5 billion. That's up 3 billion. Free cash flow of 5.1. That's up another $1 billion. So that's actually really good. As we all know, guidance numbers are also important. So as the guidance numbers come through, I will share those with you. But let's just take a look at the chart here. Where's the opportunity? So obviously good earnings result. Don, did you trade this? Or is that just a different colored zone that I'm used to seeing? Yeah, it's just different color that I'm used to seeing from you. All right. So looking at the opportunity here, let's go back to the daily chart. So it's trading at $139 a share. If you guys are looking to trade IBM and looking for the opportunities, we're at 139, some change. Top of the zone's around 137.5. So, hey, keep an eye on that area. Could be the spot to make an entry. Hey, thanks, Melanie. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. So keep an eye on that area there at around 130, 137 and 30 cents. Waiting for more info to come through here. Oh, green's a monthly zone. Gotcha. So we got to the monthly chart. I mean, it makes sense for a dinosaur like IBM to have a monthly zone. Okay. But here's your daily. Still like that 137.30 spot. Go back out to the 5-minute and take a look and see what's going on in real time. Still holding those gains just slightly. It's up a 1.25%. Boom, there you go. All right, ServiceNow. Snookeroo is trading ServiceNow. I know that they had earnings today too. Let's check back in with Meta. Still no movement on that. So let's take a look at ServiceNow. Yeah, that's up 6%. I didn't even know if anybody, Snookeroo, you surprised me, my man. I didn't know anybody was actually paying attention to this one. So let's go ahead and take a look at ServiceNow on expectations as we watch this thing go off. Right now, expectations before earnings came out today was $255 per share, $2.27 billion. Lots of upgrades on this one. Let's take a look and see what it came out to. So earnings per share came at $2.92, so smashed expectations. Slight beat on revenue. They came in at 2.29 billion versus 2.27. Fiscal year subscription revenue, 8.63. This is guidance, 8.63 to 8.64. It looks like they beat guidance there. That's a 25.5% growth for ServiceNow. Damn. Last quarter for growth, the expectation was 22.5 revenue forward. So they smashed those expectations. That's why the stock's up 6.5%. Anybody who traded this, damn. Congrats. If you're looking for opportunity now, I would probably stay away from it. Just because it's already up so much. Taking a look at the daily chart here. We don't have zones drawn out on this one, but if Don, remind me if you're going live tonight. Maybe you can kind of analyze this one a little bit further. If you guys just click on Don Francho's name in the chat, it'll take you right to his channel. Feel free to subscribe to that as well. Don's my partner in crime. Kind of tag team a lot of this stuff. So if I'm reacting to earnings straight after the bell, he'll kind of do like a post reaction type of thing most of the time. So I might cover this one. Could be a decent opportunity now that it's up 6%, sitting at 562. And so 567 thereabouts looks to be next resistance there. All right, let's check back in with Meta. Got about 131 of you guys watching. I certainly appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, would encourage you to do so. I go live Monday through Friday, 3:45 p.m. Eastern time. just before the bell, cover earnings, give trading opportunities on those, and just react to them. And we have a good time. Don says we tag team, but only on OnlyFans. Bro, I thought we weren't. It's the wrong channel. Thought we weren't telling people that. All right, let's get back to the 5-minute on Meta. It's down 3%, but not a whole lot of volume here. So I don't know. Let's just double check. David Kim says Meta is tanking. I don't know if I would really call that a tank, as it looks as if perhaps we're seeing this move right back up now in the greens, now up 3%. So why are people hating on Meta so much? Melody hates Meta. It's not looking like trash right now. You got to give it that at least. Up and down, and then up and down, says David Kim. Welcome to earnings, my friends. Welcome to earnings. All right, so here we go. Meta Platforms Q3 adjusted revenue 33.64 was the estimate. No, sorry, 33.64 is the actual. Estimate was 32.94, so crushed revenue. They came in with $4.39 versus $1.64. A year-over-year beat. Smashed it. Smashed earnings. JJ Hawkins, thank you, my man. Jeff Chow says, so did Meta reveal guidance for glasses? Was Don the only buyer? Probably. He probably bought all of them because that sounds like a Don move, if I'm honest. Oh, God. All right. Looking to try to find some more guidance numbers here. Here we go. They see Q4 revenue 36.5 to 40 billion. The estimate was 38.76. So right in line with guidance. Meta sees fiscal year total expenses 87 billion to 89. Saw 88 to 91. So that's good. Those are good numbers. 2024 Realty Labs operating loss to rise meaningfully, apparently, to Meta. They see infrastructure related costs next year. So not great news there. Nevertheless, they beat earnings and it's still moving up. It's now up another 4.5%. I know Don went long on this one. Snooker says beats the hell out of trading Tattooed Chef. Do people even still talk about Tattooed Chef? What a piece of shit. You want to talk about trash stock? All right. Still moving up. Now up out of this blue zone, this 4-hour zone here. Let me know if I'm doing it right, Don. He'll be the first one to tell me I'm fucking up. All right, so pretty strong move out of here. It looks as if we can see, the next resistance on Meta at around 322.50. So keep an eye on that spot. If you're in Meta, if you made the trade here pre-market or before the close, good on you. I did talk about this before the market closed. I said, hey, I would imagine that Meta has the opportunity to be a decent trade if you're looking to trade on some earnings. As we all know, everything's a risk because it just goes all over the place. But so far, so good on this. So trying to get above this 4-hour zone here at around 310. We'll see if it has. We'll see if it has the strength to get up over it. But to be fair, I mean, it hasn't even made up for the losses for just today's trading. So we'll see where this goes. Melanie says, not the first time a foot has been in my mouth. Gonna leave that one alone. Oh God. Pretty strong move here, though. It still looks like it's got some strength to it for as far as Meta Platforms is concerned, but yeah, still not really making up for the losses on the day today. We'll get to some questions. David, I'm going to get to Nphase. If you guys have any other questions, by the way, be sure to put it in the chat. I'll be happy to answer those for you as well. Michael Hannes says he's nervous about Nphase. Yeah, let's check back in with IBM real quick. IBM smashed earnings, stocks up 1.5%, gave back some of those gains on the initial reaction. Let's take a look at ServiceNow, see where that's at. That also smashed expectations. That was up as much as 6%. Gave back some of those gains as well. It's down at 431. Okay. Nphase. Let's take a look at Nphase. Yeah, last year it had such ridiculous growth, particularly in Europe, because of what we saw with things going on in Russia and, the dependency on oil from Germany and many other European countries depended on Russian energy. And so they were trying to find alternatives. And so Nphase ended up being kind of one of those stocks that just went bananas because of what they provide in renewable resources, renewable energy. And we saw 60% year-over-year growth. We saw 60% month-over-month growth from Nphase, particularly in Europe, but really everywhere. I mean, we saw crazy growth for Nphase. But they do have earnings tomorrow after hours, which I will be live for. So if you're not already, hit that thumbs up and then also subscribe, hit that notification bell to get notified when I go live. I will be going live just before the close. Amazon also has earnings tomorrow. Intel, Ford, Chipotle, Chipotle, Dexcom, Skechers, and some other small ones. But those are the big ones. Amazon, Nphase, Intel, Ford, Chipotle will have earnings tomorrow. So taking a look at this one, let's go out to the daily. I still like Nphase as a longer term play. It looks like Don just traded this one and maybe stopped out. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, Don. So this is your daily chart on Nphase. It is definitely scary looking at this chart right now. Let's zoom in on it a little bit. There you go. There's your daily chart on Nphase. Been a lot of low volume on this too. What's the story here with Nphase? So pulling up, if you guys are curious about where I'm pulling up some of this info, pulling it up here on Seeking Alpha. Revenue growth is still ridiculous. Year-over-year growth at 61%, 28.5% is expected forward growth. EBITDA is at 134%. It is just bananas. It hasn't been performing all that great. As you guys know. Not over the last 9 months, it's down 49%. But is this an opportunity for Nphase? I think so. It's one of the very few renewable energy companies that actually is profitable and growing at the rate that it's growing. I will have more info on this for you guys. And I'll also put this out in an email as well through TradeStream. So for those of you who subscribe to that, be on the lookout. But I still like Nphase here. I don't know what people are hating on. Bean Turd says oversold like hell. That's kind of what it feels like to me too. And this is your daily chart. It does look oversold AF. That's what it looked like. Yeah, that's what I figured, Don. Thanks for confirming that. Mike, I got your message in our Discord. We got to get together, bro, so I can articulate these a little bit better. But I appreciate you sharing that. Do I think Costco? There's a question from housekeeping. Do I think Costco will raise membership prices like Amazon did at the start of the year? Will the stock rip if they do? I don't think that they will, but if they do, then yes, the stock will rip. It will go bananas. It will go crazy. We already talked about Costco the other day, housekeeping. I believe you were the one that asked about it too. But so I won't go too much more detail in it, but so there's Nphase, and we'll get into this. We'll get into Amazon a little bit more tomorrow. I do have some concerns over Amazon based off of what I saw on Microsoft's Azure growth. And so that is where we're at, guys. Tomorrow, as I'd mentioned, stocks to look forward to: Amazon, Nphase, Intel, Ford, Chipotle. Those are the big ones that I'm going to be reacting to. We take a look again at Meta, see where it's at. Just to kind of recap here, let's go back to the 5-minute. It's up 3.5%, holding pretty strong above that zone on the 4-hour. That 4-hour zone looking pretty good. So I would say, obviously keep risk tolerances tight, but kind of looks as if Meta may end up having a good day tomorrow too. And we'll see what they have to say on their earnings call tonight. So keep an eye on that. If by some chance there's a negative reaction, could very easily come back and retest the top of this zone down here at around 294, 293. So watch that area as well as potential trading opportunity. Don says, my only concern on Amazon is that I don't have enough puts. Damn. Now you know how Don feels about Amazon tomorrow. Checking back in with IBM. We talked about how they smashed earnings, and that's given back most of its gains so far, but it's on pretty low volume, so we'll continue to keep an eye on that. And then ServiceNow, a couple of people I saw were asking about that. That's holding its gains pretty steadily. It jumped up to 6%, sitting up around or over 4.5%. So it looks good. But that's going to do it for today, folks. Appreciate you hanging out with me this afternoon. It's been awesome. You guys are fantastic. Hit that like button on your way out the door. And again, I'll be back here tomorrow at 3:45 p.m. Eastern time to react to Amazon, Nphase, Intel, Ford, and Chipotle. And so hit your notification bells. I'll be live tomorrow. And until then, guys, enjoy the rest of your night. I love every single one of you. And that's it. Have a good one. See ya.